Hey guys, it's Christina. Welcome back. And welcome to my living room because as long as summer exists, I might as well be here where the AC is. So, I just thought by title today's video, we have a very exciting reading vlog. I'm gonna see how many books I can read in the next week and the next 6-ish days. And I'm so excited because I have a mountain of books next to me. One of the books I've already started, but I have a mountain of books. Do I expect to read? I think it is 8 books. Absolutely not. I'm trying to create a routine for myself this summer that does not involve just reading and doing absolutely nothing. So, is it gonna be 8 books? No. Is it gonna be maybe 4 books? Hopefully. I do have a little bit of a system set up, but first let's get into the books I decided that will be my victims this week. They're all on my physical TBR. I know, insane, crazy. Here is the mountain of books I have decided to terrorize this week. We see a lot of long books, a lot of long books, especially on Next Storm, and some shorter books here down at the bottom, but let's go one by one. The first book is Wildcard by Elsie Silver. I actually started this one today because I also finished Wildside today, and I had such a good time with it, so we all know I gotta jump straight into the last book of the series, so I'll also be finishing the series, which is amazing. I am very excited for this book. I love an age gap romance. So having a great time already, although the way the next chapter is gonna begins, it hurts my heart. But anyway, this is the first book, obviously. Definitely gonna be reading this one. Then I'm grabbing these 2 books because these two are kind of special. These two are kind of special because I have them available on audiobook on Libby, which is amazing because I have one of the major things I have to do this week is clean out my closet, and what a better thing to listen to while I clean out my closet than an audiobook. So these 2 I have available on audiobook. The rest I have asked for on Libby, but both Wildcard and Cozy Girl Fall are not on Libby, at least not in my library. So the rest of the books I have asked for, they're just not available yet to me, which is fine. But we have these 2 which I can listen to audiobook. This one's only 7 hours. This one's 24 hours. So this one is definitely gonna be a later pick if we do the audiobook of this one. Next we have 2 more of like general fiction reads-ish, or like drama reads, or there is romance, but I think they're more general fiction, which one of them is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've been terrified to read this one because I heard it's very emotionally draining. I heard it makes you cry. So I have been putting this one off, but everybody knows I love Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I need to get this finally. I think it released last summer, so I think it's time for me to finally read this one. And then the other one is none other than The Favorites. I feel like this one is a bit more romance than Atmosphere, obviously, but this one I'm so excited for. I feel like there's so much drama in this one. I need a drama-filled book. I feel like from what I heard, it also has an interview format like Daisy Jones and the Six, which I ate that up, and I feel like this means this book is incredibly bingeable. So, we shall see. I'm really excited for this one. Then we have Not Quite Dead Yet, which I am also nervous to read this one because I also heard it's very sad. And Holly Jackson always does it for me, but like I said, I'm a little completely terrified to read this one. This one, I have most of these books downloaded on my Kindle, obviously because I hate holding physical copies sometimes. But this one I'll definitely be reading on physical copy because, I don't know if you guys can tell, I got it in Italian, and as much I would love to speak Italian, I don't speak Italian, so I'm gonna read this one on the Kindle. Would love to one day read this in the physical copy in Italian, but not this time, no. And then the last 2 books, which might be the easiest to pick up when it comes to just sitting down and reading, are 2 romances. The first one is A Cozy Girl Fall. This one I definitely should leave it towards the fall time, but I'm just really excited to read this one, to be honest. And I am a mood reader, and I'm in the mood to read this week. And there's other fallish like books that I own. I have a lot of fantasy that I need to catch up on, like on Next Storm. So I feel like this one I can be okay with reading in the summer. Last but not least, And here only equal this Psalm 40. This one's also been putting off because that means leaving Chicago. It means leaving the Windy City series. But we have this book, and this one I'm so excited for. I've read so many good things about it. Like, generally, I don't think there's a bad thing about this book. So this one, I'm definitely picking up this week. I hope to make it to 4 of these books this week. I think that's an easy obtainable goal considering it is a summertime. I do have 2 doctor's appointments, 1 like school meeting thing, and then like I said, I'm trying to get back into the gym. And at the gym, I'm not doing any listening to books or anything like that. I am only listening to music and building scenarios in my head. And it's a World Cup. The World Cup started a few days ago. And I'm definitely going to be going to see the game on the 19th. And that's on Friday, I believe. And then a game on the 21st. But y'all will already have this video by the 21st. But other than that, I think the things I have to do at home, like cleaning my room and cleaning out my closet, I can do an audiobook, which is amazing. And the other hobby you all know I started was diamond painting, and I can definitely do audiobooks while I diamond paint. So I think 4 books is a good number of books to read this week. It's been a long time since I've read 4 books in a week. Actually, 4 books in a month is usually what I've been doing with the school year, but in the summer is where I get most of my reading done. So let's say 4. I think definitely Wildcard is gonna be on the finish list. I think The Ministry of Time is gonna be in the finish list. Not Quite Dead Yet, and In Her Own League. Those are the 4 books I'm aiming for. But with that being said, let's continue reading actually Wildcard. I made it up to chapter 6, and basically Bash and Gwen just met. I don't know if any of you don't know what this book is about. Basically, it's ex-boyfriend's dad romance. It's an age gap romance. Not a big age gap. It's 12 years. She's 27. He's 39. I think in the point where they do start to get together, she's 28 and he's 40. Sorry. It's not a big age gap, in my opinion, considering there's worse age gaps. But it does start where they meet, which they meet before Gwen ever gets with his son. But it starts off where they meet, and they're kind of complete opposite. He's like very grumpy, she's very sunshiny. But I really like, they kind of still match in the beginning. Like, it's not like they hate each other. They do compliment each other, which I really like. And we've seen a little bit of them, especially on Wild's side. So, like I said, I'm really excited to read this and continue reading. I'm home alone for the evening. Obviously, that's why I'm filming in the living room and why I'm being as loud as I decide to be. So, let's get to reading because we have a lot of books to get through, right? So, yeah. Do I expect to finish this today? Absolutely not. Do I hope to finish this today? I do, because I actually kind of just want to sit down and do nothing but read this book. And I can do that because I have free will. So without further ado, I will shut up and get to reading. Okay, so for those who have not read this book, and actually for those who have read this book, basically in the beginning, Gwen and Bash, they meet at the airport and he gets her number. And he texts her, but he never hears back. And he's kind of like, she ghosted me and I'm not gonna, triple text her after 8 months. It's just gonna be weird. And I guess they're up here V, and it turns out she never got the text because he accidentally put in the wrong number. And I was just, before that, I was so sad. I actually thought she did ghost him, and I didn't want to record myself during that because I just thought it was so sad. Like, poor Bash. But they just found out that, quickly they found out, like, I've only read this much. Quickly they found out that he got it wrong. And I'm so glad it got resolved this early on because I didn't want that to be one of the reasons why they don't talk or why they don't like each other, why whatever else. But it's still sad because they do mention this in the beginning of the book. If he got the number right, she wouldn't be with his son, probably. Probably, who knows, you know. I mean, in this book, yes, but in the real world, who knows what would have happened, right? And it's just so sad because just because of one wrong number, that is insane. Insane. It makes me sad, but I'm glad that that part at least is resolved. I already love Bash. I know. Something about him makes me want to give him a big hug. Is that weird? Maybe a little bit. Another thing I want to say before I actually do a good dent on this book. Bash, in the little bit I've read, which takes place in about a year or so, has found out so much. He has crashed out once, but if he were to crash out again, I would not blame him. Because the amount of things he found out that would completely destroy me, good God. He is, I mean, I know he's an adult, so he is stronger than I am, but good God. I give him like full permission to like crash out yet again. So it's probably a couple hours after, and I made it to chapter 16, page 158, and I believe my Kindle app says 35% in. And we just got to kind of a pivotal moment. They kind of address her and her ex-boyfriend, his son, and it kind of leaves us on a bad note. Kind of on her point of view and his point of view without addressing it, but still, it makes me sad. This book makes me, maybe because I'm supposed to be on my period soon, but my heart aches for Bash and for Gwen, but I feel like we know a lot more about Bash. Actually, I feel like Bash is more complicated and has a lot more history. Obviously, he's 12 years his senior, and I just kind of, I wish he would let himself have at least one good thing, because he's had so much bad and such complicated events happen to him. And so has Gwen, but I feel like we're gonna dive deeper into that more in the future. And I just wanna shake him and be like, let yourself have this one good thing, you know? And it just kind of hurts my heart to see this. But anyway, like I said, chapter 16, we are 35% in, and I'm gonna continue reading. I think that is all for today, and I think tomorrow we're gonna continue reading this, and we're gonna be starting The Ministry of Time. I finished Wildcard by Elsie Silver just a few minutes ago, and now I'm getting ready to go to a doctor's appointment. So while I do that, I'm gonna talk to you guys about the book. I rated this a 4.25. A really good rating. Kind of disappointing compared to how Wild Side went, but still a good book overall. I'm gonna go and put it on the shelf. So now that the book is on the shelf, I can get ready and talk to you guys about the book. I had a really good time reading it. I feel like that is bound to happen with Elsie Silver books, but I do have a few things that I did not like. I'm gonna go with the good first, obviously. I love the writing style, like I just said. I love seeing the group back together. The Bo Eden cameo at the end, absolutely. And I loved meeting Emmett for like a split second, but we'll get to Fever Dream at a later date. Gwen is a freaking rock star, and obviously she's not an actual rock star, but she's like a force to be reckoned with, because that woman, she is so strong, she's so confident, she knows what she's worth, and she's tired of in the past not getting that, which I know I said yesterday that we don't really address her problems or her, past. We do end up addressing that later on, and I love that she was able to open up to Bash, and I love that she's already grown, or she's already, learned from those experiences. In a way, I guess, without spoiling anything. And I do love how they connected emotionally before they did physically, which everybody knows I don't mind if people connect physically first. It's not something that bothers me, as long as they do end up connecting. But I really did enjoy that being, the first, that came first, right? The one thing I didn't like is some of Bash's behavior. Some of that, I'm like, you're a 40-year-old man. Let's act like it. And that really bothered me. That's why it's a 4.25. I feel like it could have been higher, but considering some of his behaviors, you're a grown-ass man with a child. who's also grown. Let's start acting like it. But no, needless to say, I had a really fun time. I have time, obviously, to start a new book before I leave, and I'm gonna read it while I'm on the way there. I didn't go to the gym, nor did I listen to my audiobook while I did a little section of my diamond painting, so that's on me. I'm gonna be restructuring the way I do this week later today, but I think I'm gonna start one of the romance books, so either In Her Own League or Cozy Girl Fall. Might be Cozy Girl Fall just because it's shorter and it gets me up to date in that series, but we shall see. Also, another accomplishment. I finished the 18th series out of all the series I'm in the middle of, so I'm halfway to completing most series. I know most series are also not done, so that's also very exciting. But like I said, I'm gonna figure out what I read next. I'll talk to you guys more either later today or tomorrow and see where I'm at with my reading progress. But that means on day 2, I got 1 book done. And I read a book in 24 hours, which is also really impressive considering my past experiences in the past year. I think I've learned to accept that I'm not as fast as a reader as I used to be. But we're gonna get back up there. Anyway, I'm gonna go do the things and I'll see you guys later. So, hey guys, it's the next day. It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's the next day. And yesterday I ended up reading 0 since I last talked to you guys because on my way to my doctor's appointment, the bus was so full I couldn't sit down and it was just uncomfortable. And then on the way back, I grabbed dinner and I ended up getting a really bad stomach ache that literally all I wanted to do was sleep and get rid of my stomach ache. So now it's the next day. I'm gonna be leaving in about 20 minutes to go to a school meeting, and on the way there I will be bringing my Kindle. And after that, I'm gonna grab lunch, and then I have another doctor's appointment, and then after that, we're free. So let's see how much reading I can get done. I am calling one of my best friends, long distance best friends, around 6 o'clock. So let's see how much reading we can get done before then and then after that. So yeah, just wanted to keep you guys updated. Hey guys, long time no see. As you can tell, I'm sitting on the floor of my room because I'm finally gonna get to cleaning out this main dresser that I have. I have clothes in one other dresser because I have too many clothes and it's getting to a point where I'm not using all of it. Not even probably 50%. So I'm gonna do some cleaning up my clothes, and that means audiobook time. I will say, yesterday, I think I read 1 chapter of Cozy Girl Fall, and I didn't read anymore because I wasn't in the mood to read it. I mostly diamond painted, and I was on the phone with a friend while I did that. So, we are back on our reading journey. We have 3 audiobooks on our shelves. Let's see if, we have 3 audiobooks on our shelves. We have that on our list that we want to read too. We have The Ministry of Time, Onyx Storm, and Not Quite Dead Yet. And honestly, I'm going to go for the shortest one because I feel like with the speed I read it at and everything, I think I can read at least most of it while I do this because I might try and do the other drawer as well. So, I'm going to be reading The Ministry of Time. Do I know what this is about? No, I'm going to go figure that out before I start listening to it. And yeah, we're going to get to organizing. I have my Red Bull up there and a whole lot of hope that my back doesn't break in the first 30 minutes. So as you can tell, I put on different clothes because literally both the pants and the shirt I was wearing were too oversized to be doing this kind of stuff. But literally in the hour that this first chapter, or this first part 1, took place, I was able to clean out all the main drawers. Mostly, this is the one that I am going to be donating most clothes. I've been putting all the clothes in trash bags so I can go and donate them. This is the other one I started. There's a few clothes from the winter in that, and this is the easy part. These were easy. Most of this I know I'm gonna keep. Now we're gonna go into my mom's room where the rest of my clothes are, and that's gonna be a lot of trash bags and a lot of deciding. So let's go. Also, I failed to mention that with this change, one of my drawers, I didn't fold the clothes yet, but because I need to grab the rest of my summer clothes and put them inside, so that's also gonna be, we'll see how everything fits. If not, we're gonna be reducing even more, which is good. It stresses me out. But anyway, let's go to my mom's room. Of course, as for the book, I'm really enjoying in this first part. The guy who's from the past, so Graham Gore, Sergeant Gore, he's very funny. I didn't expect the book to be British, so hearing the British voices at first, I had it at 1.7 and I didn't know they were going to be British, so I was like, what are they speaking in? Anyway, I'm having a good time. I'm only an hour into the audiobook. I don't think I'm that far. I'm gonna check. I bought the book, see how far in I'm in the physical copy. But I'm having a good time. I like the concept a lot. But right now, they both seem pretty stiff. But then again, they just met. So let's keep listening. I made it back to my room and I packed 7 bags of clothes, which is honestly worrisome. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And now I'm gonna put all the tops in the drawer, the summer clothes in the drawer, and then I'll be done. And that's crazy. But in the book, I made it to part 3. I made it to part 3 already. I'm 2 hours in with 8 hours and 16 minutes to go. I'm not gonna continue listening because I feel like part 3, let's see how long this is. Oh, it's only 4 minutes, but I'm actually gonna put on some music instead of doing this. And then I think after, we're gonna go to Diamond Paint and we're gonna listen to the book. Hey guys, so it's the next morning, and as you saw yesterday, I diamond painted and I listened to a little bit of the audiobook, a little bit more than what I had listened to while I was doing the closet clean out. But I didn't listen too much because my mom was working next to me and she kept talking to like whoever was like she was on a call with. And then I read a few chapters of Cozy Girl Fall, but that's pretty much all I ended up reading yesterday. And it is Thursday, and we had the goal to read 2 more books before Saturday. So I think we can get Cozy Girl Fall done. And depending on my mood, if I diamond paint, I can listen to that. I can listen to The Ministry of Time. But if I finish the Cozy Girl Fall, I'm starting In Her Own League for sure. I'm between In Her Own League and Not Quite Dead Yet. We'll see when the time comes. Cozy Girl Fall is less than 300 pages and I'm already on chapter 8 or whatever it is. So I don't want, like, it's not like, I feel like I can finish it today. And now, speaking of the books, Cozy Girl Fall, I'm not that far in. It's a second chance romance, basically, just like, actually, Clean Girl Spring. Our main girl comes back to her hometown after something happens in the big city. In Clean Girl Spring, she's working in New York City, and in this book, our main character, Penny, was working in San Francisco, and now she's back in Magnolia Springs. It's giving very fall, like, they're talking about an apple orchard. Is it called an apple orchard? Now I don't remember how to say that word. But it's second chance, and she kind of left the town back 10 years ago without a trace. She kind of just left without saying goodbye to literally anybody, especially her ex-boyfriend, Ethan, who's our love interest. And Ethan, turns out he also works at the apple orchard. I'm gonna mess that up until I realize what it's called. But he also works there, and they've only seen each other once. And she's going through these emotions of, like, you know, being back home but wanting to leave, but all these emotions and stuff. But like I said, I think I'm on chapter 6 or 8. I can't remember the number. Not that far in. But for the Ministry of Time, I think I made a pretty good dent. I couldn't find this exact spot on the book because it was kind of the middle of the chapter. I think it's really funny seeing all these, like, they call them expats, these people from different places and times. They call them expats. They're really funny trying to adapt, especially the one that we're focusing on, Graham Gore. And I think he loves Spotify, for example. He loves Spotify. He thinks it's so, like, absurd that, like, smoking is bad now and that, you know, women can live alone and that they can wear pants and stuff like that. I think it's so funny. But I also think, we haven't gotten to the romance part yet, although it's been hinted at a little bit. I love how it talks about, because our main character, I think her mom is either Ethiopian or from Uganda. I can't remember. I should remember. But basically, her mom's an immigrant to the United Kingdom, and she has to explain to Graham. I think her name is Allie. I think I'm getting her name wrong. She has to explain to Graham Gore that some of the things that he's saying are racist and sexist, and they have to go through this whole process of adapting them to like societal, like today's like norms and stuff. And it was really interesting because at one point he says the N-word, not like out of like not in a bad, I mean of course it's in a bad way, but like not to insult her but to talk about other people. And she tells him that that's like he can't do that. She explains why, and of course he probably doesn't fully understand the reason, like just because, you know, he's not from today's day and age, but he still makes the effort to not say that word. He makes the effort to say black people, and it's just like it gets me thinking, like, first of all, good for him. Like, this man is from the 1800s, by the way. I'm pretty sure 1847, like long time ago, right? Also, he cannot believe that, this is such a side note, he cannot believe London has 9 million people. He says that they're making that up. That is, like, honestly, like, the funniest thing. But for someone who was taken out of his own timeline and put in the big year of 2024, because this book was from 2024, and he's, like, made that switch, like, or adapting to the new reality. I'm like, it makes you think, like, everybody's like, oh, but they're from, like, it makes you think of, like, today's day and how everybody makes excuses for older people, saying, oh, but they're from another generation. I don't think that matters. I mean, I don't think that matters. I don't think however old you are matters if you're a decent person or not. And of course, this man, you know, he will have some racist and sexist and prejudiced tendencies, right? In the book, we'll see how he evolves. But he's making the effort, and so are the other expats, but it's like, you know, we're concentrating on him. And then you have people in real life that are probably either my age, maybe older, whoever cares, and they don't make the effort. And it's just so interesting. I really like the concept that they talk about class and racism and that kind of thing. I'm not the best to speak on it because, I mean, I have the same views as the woman does, but I don't feel like I can express them the same way. But I really like it. And I think the author's doing a really good job. But I'm gonna read a little bit more of Cozy Girl Fall now before I go to the gym, and then I'll keep you guys updated. She doesn't have a name. She's just the narrator. That's insane. I feel like that's a little disrespectful. I don't know. I'm gonna see if there's any interviews and something like that. That's so interesting. So it's later in the day, and I have read a total of 0 pages, but it is currently, I believe, 6 o'clock, 6:14, and I'm about to lock in with the reading. I was doing some studying because I'm going to get my proficiency exam in August, and I just signed up for it like a few weeks ago, and I finally decided to start studying because I should have been studying before. But it is super sunny. It is only 6 o'clock, and there's so much light coming into the living room. So I'm taking advantage of the natural lighting, and we're gonna be reading Cozy Girl Fall. Like I said, I feel like even if it's already 6 o'clock, I feel like I can read this whole book. I have page 42, and there's 283 pages. So I feel like 40 pages is not bad. I'm gonna start reading and see where it takes us. And for the Ministry of Time, I finally found my spot on the book. I'm on page 80, and if I want to continue reading after finishing this today, if I finish this on time as well, I shall read a little bit of the physical copy of this. But that means if we do finish this one, that means we would have 2 books finished this video, maybe 2 or 3. Can't remember. If anything, this will be book 3, and then we will move on to, I still don't know if I'm going to do it in her own league or Not Quite Dead yet. We shall see. guys, it's the next morning. I feel like the light is a little too much right now, but I love natural lighting, so you're gonna have to deal with it. But last night, I didn't give an update, one, because my mom came back and I couldn't talk to the camera, and two, because I was like, I'm not gonna talk to the camera. I'm gonna finish this book. I'm gonna finish Cozy Girl Fall before I talk to the camera again. And that's what I did. I finished Cozy Girl Fall. I think you saw a clip of me showing the acknowledgements. But I finished that last night. I have the copy in my room, so I'm just gonna put a picture of it so you know what I'm talking about. I had a really good time with this book. The only reason why I didn't get consistent updates is because it's such an easy light read. I feel like I can just talk about it at the end. There isn't much happening. There isn't enough for me to just stop and talk about it, if that makes any sense. It is a second chance romance where Penny used to live in Magnolia Springs, and then she kind of just left 10 years ago, and now she's back and she runs into everybody in the town basically, but she runs in specifically to her best friend and her ex-boyfriend. And it's a second chance romance. It's super cute. She works in an apple orchard. I know we all know I don't know how to say that word. Orchard, or I feel like that's the wrong pronunciation. Anyway, and she's like, technically she's there temporarily, but she quickly changes her mind. And when she runs into her ex is immediately like pouncing. Like, that sounds very wrong. He's immediately like, I'm gonna try and win her back. I feel like there's a few things that I didn't like. The way the sister acted, like, so her best friend is his sister. I don't like the way she was moving in the beginning. I think it was very fast paced, but the same thing happened with Clean Girl Spring. So these are just fast paced books. And the third act breakup, in my opinion, was incredibly unnecessary, but I still had a fun time reading it. Like, it's that kind of book where you have a fun time reading it. So it was cute. I kind of did wish I saved it for the fall, but there's many other fall books that I can save for then. But now we are on to reading The Ministry of Time. I'm showing you the Kindle version because right now you're standing on my made up tripod thing, and one of the things holding the camera up is the physical copy of The Ministry of Time. I read a little bit last night. I was just now reading a little bit. I just went and changed for the gym. I feel like I've been wearing gray every single day, so it feels like for some reason I haven't been changing at all. I am 25% in, so not that far in. I'm having a fun time. It's a little slow. I think it's better on the audiobook than it is reading it on the physical, but I still prefer, like, I would like reading it on the physical. There isn't much to say from what I last said about how I like how they're teaching this stuff in today's day and age to these expats. And other than that, I have no updates on the reading, because now in a little bit I'm gonna try and go to the gym. I really don't want to, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm gonna go watch one of the World Cup games tonight. The game is not until 9, but we're gonna be there at 7, so that means leaving around 6:15-ish. So that means I have to be starting to get ready around 5:15, because I do want to shower, and I think I'm gonna shower at least after lunch, so not after my gym. But we'll see. I don't know. I also wanted to study for my proficiency exam, but I don't think that's gonna happen today. I might just switch that to Sunday. A Sunday activity. So that means we finished 2 books. Can we finish A Ministry of Time between today and sometime in the day tomorrow? Possibly. But I kind of want to start a new book, which is not good, because the rest of these books, like, they get higher and higher on page count. So we're gonna stick to The Ministry of Time. Let's see how far we get into it. I wish we got more reading done, but I feel like Monday and Tuesday, and even a little bit of Wednesday, I was like not in the mood to read. Tuesday and Wednesday, and maybe Tuesday and Wednesday, because I feel, so basically, you guys don't know this, I'm gonna tell you this. I finished a series, like a small trilogy, then I read Wild Side, and then I started Wild Card, and that happened in the span of like 4 days. So I kind of overstimulated myself, but now we are ready to continue reading this. I'm gonna read this until, I don't know when I want to leave, to be honest. Maybe 9:45, and it's 9:09, so I'm gonna read for a little bit, and then might go to the gym, and then I'll get back to you guys later. So I'm filming this update super quick. I'm on my way. It should be leaving now for the USA soccer game, but I did some diamond painting, and I read up to 52% of The Ministry of Time, and things are getting a little suspicious. Things are being a little weird. I'm having a good time. I do think it's a little slow. for my taste. I wish things would pick up a little more, but I'm having a good time reading it. Let's see if I can finish it tomorrow. If not, we'll wrap this video up tomorrow and say we read 2.5 books. We can say that. Maybe a little more, because of course I'm a little more over than 50% of the Ministry of Time. But I'm gonna go to the game and have some fun, and maybe I can read it on my Kindle. But other than that, I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, it's a couple days later and I still haven't finished the Ministry of Time. You guys were supposed to get this video yesterday, but I have about 5 hours left on the audiobook. Let's see, 4 hours and 48 minutes left. And I have a diamond painting that needs to get finished. So, I'm gonna be listening to this audiobook until it finishes while I do this. And considering I usually have it at 1.5, that's gonna be a little bit over 2 hours, which is, I think, it's how long it's gonna take me to finish these 2 sections. So, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook while I do this, and I'll keep you guys updated. And then I'm gonna edit this video and get it up for you guys. So, that was the plan. I wish I could have done this sooner, but I had a busy weekend and I just didn't get that done. But I didn't want to upload this video without at least finishing the Ministry of Time. So, without further ado, let's get this chapter started. I've already listened to an hour of what I have left, and I'm only this far in. I've done this, like, dark green. I've done numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is 6. But there is 22 these colors. So, we have long ways to go. Let's just say that. As for the book, we're getting into the more mysterious part of it. I do have to say, like, I was listening to a few reviews on TikTok, and I do have to say I agree. I wish we got deeper into the important topics. I feel like she talks about it, but it's not, like, I feel like we could take an extra step. I feel like the book could be longer, so we can make those, like, talk more about those deeper topics. But I do like this, like, suddenly, like, mysterious part of it, like, more, like, sci-fi-ish of it. And we're getting a little bits of romance, which is nice, because I love romance. But yeah, chapter 6, I have 15 minutes left on this chapter. And yeah, and my cat keeps making noises, so I'm gonna continue doing this. I just made it to chapter 7, and in chapter 6, something crazy happens, but we don't really have any answers, we have assumptions. And then we're on, like, you know how they do these little parts where it's Commander Gore's point of view from, like, the third point of view, because when we're in the present, it's from our main character's point of view in first person. And I understand that it might be leading up to when he got, like, taken into the present, but I feel it, like I said, I feel like we could replace that with more information and other things, and especially more information on the time traveling bit. But we'll see. There's still 3 hours and 39 minutes. So here's another update. I literally just finished number 8, and now we're gonna go into the letters. And I am 2 hours, and I have 2 hours and 58 minutes left. As for the book, we got to the romance. And it's just so interesting because it was good, but of course it was not perfect because, you know, he's from the 18th century and they do things very differently. I feel like I look crazy, but whatever. It's good, and I'm really, I really hope we figure out this whole mystery part. So I'm gonna keep listening. Not much happened, I feel like. I feel like the hour before was crazier, but let's see. Let's keep listening. In terms of the diamond painting, I literally only have this of N to complete, and that means we have little bits everywhere to finish. In terms of the audiobook, we are at 1 hour and 59 minutes, starting part 9, which means there's only 2 more parts left to the audiobook, 9 and 10. And maybe like a prologue, not prologue, an epilogue or something. I don't know. And I'm liking where this is going. I just feel like we're missing so much information still. But I really like how, I don't know. I feel like we're missing a lot of information, so I don't have a big update on the book. But hopefully in the next 2 hours, shit goes down. I feel like it's about to I feel like that's about to happen. We're 81% into the book, so I'm gonna continue doing this. I thought I could time it well enough where I would be finishing it together, but I think I'm gonna finish this before I finish the book. But we'll see. Now things are getting crazy. I feel like maybe I missed something, but I feel like our main character, which we don't know her name. Literally, there's one point where she's like, Gramps is my name, not my nickname, my real name. But he doesn't say it. So yeah, we don't know her name. It seems like everybody has a plan, or everybody can at least anticipate something except for her, which survival skills of 0, first of all, considering the job she has. But also feels like people are not telling her things, and it's making me nervous. We're so close yet so far. Things are getting sad. Things are getting really sad. And I am feeling for some characters, like side characters, and I knew what just happened would come up, and now I don't want to keep listening. Of course I will, but I know it's gonna hurt. I know it's gonna hurt. I haven't finished the audiobook. I have an hour and a half left-ish, but I finished a section, which honestly, it looks so good. I'm so excited to finish this. Maybe I'll finish it today. That's a problem for later. As for the book, not much more has happened since the very last clip that I filmed like 2 minutes ago for what it feels like, but I'm just sad. I hope it's a happy ending, because if it's not a happy ending, we'll be having problems. Yeah, we'll be having problems.
I didn't realize I was this naive. One, what's these?
What? Oh my god, wait, that makes so much sense. Oh my god, I'm so glad I was filming that. That's crazy. That's actually insane. What? Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm about to start the last chapter, and there's like an after thing. The amount of information dumping that just happened, insane. I know you guys saw my reaction to the first piece of information. It all makes sense, but I'm just like, kind of feel like it whiplash in a way. Like I'm like, I feel like everything could have been pushed like further up in the book and gotten more out of this area. I don't know. That's so insane. Actually, what the hell did I just listen to? This is how this section is going, and we have an hour left. So I don't think I'm gonna finish it before that, but we'll see when I finish it. I'm gonna see you guys when I finish the book. I just finished the book, and that's neither happy or a sad ending, and actually I do think it's kind of sad, but I hope that it kind of leaves it open-ended, and I hope it, and if it's open-ended, I choose a happy ending. So, oh my god. I'm gonna finish this section of the diamond painting. I'm almost done, and I'll get back to you guys because I need to sit with it and watch TikToks of what other people think, but I need to definitely sit with it for a second. We finished a Ministry of Time, and let me give you the star rating first. I think I'm gonna give it a 4-star, 4.25 maybe, because like I said earlier today, I feel like we could have elaborated on a lot of things, and I think that first 50% was slow. I was enjoying it, but it was slow compared to the rest of the book, and I feel like we could have had that last 50% be 75% of the book, maybe. I don't know. I'm just a suggestion. I feel like that super like sci-fi futuristic also makes you ponder a lot part could last a lot longer. I wish like I said, it's an open-ended ending, I believe, in my opinion, and I think we could have it could have gotten a happy ending. I don't know, but I had such a good time reading this book. It, like I said, it dips its toes into complicated, important topics, but I wish we dipped our toes a lot more than it did. And like I said, I wish the fun, futuristic, I don't know what to call it, wish that lasted longer. But it definitely gets you attached to like all of the characters, and it makes you pretty sad. So I had a good time reading this. I thought it was really fun. It makes me want to read more futuristic books like this. And yeah, now I'm gonna go and ponder about futures and different timelines in history and life, and look up Commander Gore, because apparently he's real, which is such a crazy thing to say out loud. I didn't know. I thought the picture in the back was like one that she generated. I don't know, but apparently he's real. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys don't mind that it's a day late. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.